Three of Swords reversed. It's important to realize that even if there is some pain and disappointment that will come when the Three of Swords reversed appears in a reading, and that this will be followed by a deep and profound healing and brighter days. When you receive this card, you may already be dealing with pain and sorrow. Know that this pain will not last forever. In general, the reversed Three of Swords indicates a likely disappointment. This does not necessarily mean something major or life-shattering, just that something that you hoped for may not come through as you would have preferred. Allow yourself to feel any pain that comes as a result, and move on. It is truly not the end of the world. Work. It is very easy to misunderstand people and entire situations at work when the Three of Swords appears in a work context. Your best bet is to ask questions and not make assumptions, and to be as clear as possible in your own communications. Don't be too thick-skinned when this card comes up. People may inadvertently be insulting. In many cases you should just try to let this roll off your back now. Love. In the context of love, the reversed Three of Swords points to misunderstandings, sadness, and sorrow. A relationship may have just ended, or one that you were sure would come together has not done so. Allow yourself to feel any pain as a result, but don't turn it into self-persecution. We all have more than one soulmate on the planet. Remember that when one door closes in life, another always opens. Finances. The Three of Swords reversed can show that your anxiety about money is causing you more problems than is necessary. Take a deep breath, and keep telling yourself that your needs will be met, which they will, provided you do the work necessary to do your part. Fear is not helpful, in any way. This is not a good time for risky investments, as your fear about them would overshadow any slight gains possible. Just keep your money safe for now. Health. You may not have all the information that you need about your health when the Three of Swords reversed comes up. Investigate on your own, see a doctor or a different doctor, if you are having health problems. Don't discount what medical professionals tell you. However, if your gut tells you that you need a second opinion, then get one. Anxiety may be taking a major toll. If you are feeling anxious and it's interfering with your life, make sure that you express this to your healthcare provider. Major anxiety can all but destroy your quality of life, but it can be controlled. To get it controlled, though, you must talk about it. Spirituality. The Three of Swords again indicates that things may not be entirely clear to you in the spiritual realm. Be wary if you meet new people who claim to have all the answers spiritually. Their answers may not be your answers. There's no harm in exploring different spiritual understandings and traditions. However, this is probably not the time to commit to any of them. Tarot History. The history of the tarot is shrouded in mystery. Very little in the way of concrete information is known about its origin, although many things have been written about it. We will probably never know the truth, as fact and fiction seem to be irrevocably mixed nowadays. The tarot originated in northern Italy in the early 15th century, sometime between 1420 to 1440. Despite the fact that it is often attributed to originating from China, Egypt, India, or Morocco, to name just a few, there is absolutely no evidence that this is the case. Nor, as is often quoted, is there any evidence whatsoever that the tarot was brought to Europe by the Romanis. The name tarot is often attributed to being Egyptian, Hebrew, or Latin. This is not the case. The earliest names are all Italian in origin. The cards were originally called carte de triomphe. Around 1530 the word tarocchi began to be used to differentiate them from a new game of triumphs that was in vogue at the time. The etymology of this new word is unknown. The German variant was known as tarot and the French tarot. The symbolism for the tarot is drawn from the culture of medieval and Renaissance Europe. The tarot subjects are distinctive to European Christendom. The symbolism does not come from Egypt or any of the other exotic locales often mentioned. It is often stated that modern-day playing cards evolved from the tarot. This is not the case. Modern-day playing cards came to Europe courtesy of Islam. They were an adaptation of the Islamic Mamluk cards. They appeared quite suddenly in many different European cities between 1375 and 1378. These early cards had suits of cups, swords, coins, and polo sticks, and courts consisting of a king and two male underlings. The tarot adds the Fool, the trumps, and a set of queens to this system. Sometime before 1480, the French introduced cards with the now familiar suits of hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds. The Joker is not original to either the early form of modern-day cards, or to the tarot, but instead originated in the USA around 1857 and was used as a wild card in poker as well as the highest trump in euchre. It is also often stated that the Catholic and Protestant churches outlawed the tarot and all who used it in an effort to stamp out so-called heretical teachings. This is not the case. The Inquisition documented what the Church considered as evidence of heresy in great detail. The tarot was not even mentioned. After the Reformation, less controversial images for the Pope and Papess were substituted by card makers as the Church had objected to the original images. It is often said that the tarot was not used as a divination tool prior to 1781. The tarot was used as early as the 16th century to compose poems describing personality characteristics. There is historical evidence that in one case at least these verses were presented as relating to the person's fate. In other words, divination. Divinatory meanings were assigned to the tarot in Bologna in the early 1700s, and this is the first unambiguous evidence of tarot divination. Ordinary playing cards were connected with divination as early as 1487. It is not unreasonable to think that the tarot was also. The tarot has often been attributed with being a pillar of Western esoterica occultism. This is certainly not the case. The first occult writers to discuss the tarot were Court de Gabellin and the Comte de Melot in 1781. The tarot was not mentioned in any occult work for the first 350 years of its existence. The terms Major Arcana, Minor Arcana, High Priestess, and Hierophant are anachronistic when referring to the older tarot decks. The historically appropriate terms are the trumps and the fool, the suit cards, Papess or Popess, and Pope. Likewise, pentacles and wands are relatively recent substitutions for the traditional suit names of coins and staves or batons. The original Italian titles of the cards were in some cases different from the later French titles that have become familiar to us through the Tarot de Marseille and its descendants. Also, the ordering of the trumps varied considerably in Italy where the cards originated. It is not known which ordering is the earliest one. Even the number of cards in the deck varied a great deal. so care should be used in making statements about the original meaning of the cards based on the familiar titles and ordering. Many believe that the Waite-Smith Tarot is the original, standard, or most authentic tarot deck in existence. This is absolutely untrue. The Waite-Smith/Rider-Waite deck was created in 1909, not even 100 years ago, making it a relative newcomer in the almost 600-year history of the tarot. There is actually no definitive version of the tarot.